Hi everyone, Amanda Saladin here from Love Life Yarn, and today we're going to be crocheting these adorable mini holiday stockings. So we start at the top and work back and forth in rows, and we work the leg, turn this little heel, work the foot, and then finally the toe. These work great for putting in like little chapsticks or candy canes, or you can just hang them on your tree or do it as a gift topper. Any of these things, tons of uses for these little stockings. They work up super fast in worsted weight yarn in not too many rows. So are you ready? Let's get started. Materials you'll need for this project include some worsted weight yarn, just any different yarn, can be scrap yarn. This is a nice wool yarn. It's a Lion Brand Woolies. And then I have the Premier anti-pilling everyday worsted right here. And a size H 5mm hook, yarn needle, scissors, and a stitch marker to keep track of the continuous rounds we'll be working for the leg and the foot. We're going to start with a chain of 11. This looks really tall compared to the stocking, but this is turned down, so it actually is pretty long, and then you can turn it down and make a nice little cuff. So we'll start with the top and then work our way down. So here we are, third chain, and we're going to use single crochet. So skip this first stitch, the first little chain from your hook right here. I like to work in the back, so you see how this looks like a V? I'll turn mine over, and I'll go in the second little bump right here. Mine's a little tight. There we go. Yarn over and draw up a loop. Yarn over and draw through 2. And we'll work our way all the way down, and we'll have 10 stitches. All right, our 10 stitches are done. You can see that first row here, and I've turned. And now we're going to work in the back loop only, and this will be how we work for, it's 18 rows total. So this is row 1, and rows 2 through 18 are the same. So chain 1, and normally when you crochet, you work right here into the stitch and underneath both of these loops right there. Instead, we're going to turn it to where you're looking at the top for the V, and you're going to stick it right in the middle and only go under that back loop, and still single crochet. So yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and we just work our way all the way down those 10 stitches. And this little part, this is left out every time we turn. This gives us that little ribbing look that looks like we have knit ribbing, because knitting has the ability to create a stretchy rib with different knits and purls. And so to mimic that, and it does have a little bit of stretch, crochet uses techniques like this where we'll work back and forth. So just the back loop only, going this way for 18 total rows. All right, here is my single crochet ribbing. You can see how working in just the back loop created this texture. And now we need to close it so that it can be the top of our stocking. So it's really easy to do that. We're just going to slip stitch. So go ahead and turn them and line them up where you can see the stitches from row 1 and row 18. We're going to go in this outer loop. So just the outer loop here and the outer loop of the other, and slip stitch those together. Just draw the yarn through and then go to the second one. Draw it through and work your way all the way down, just slip stitching these outer stitches together. So just work your way down, slip stitching. When your cuff is all done and it's slip stitched, it looks like this. You can see here, this is where we worked our join, and on the other side, you really can't even tell. So when it's rolled down, like when I was looking at the original stocking, I was trying to see exactly where I joined mine, and it was hard to tell, except for the difference is You can just tell this is a little raised when you touch it, but other than that, especially when you roll it down, you can't tell really there's a joint there, which is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to work the next part here, which is to single crochet 16 along the side. So we're working like this now, and you're just going to insert your hook into these rows, the sides of the rows, and single crochet. If I'm working a large project like this, I'll actually use these locking stitch markers like this that we're going to use in just a few minutes to mark out like the halfway point and even the quarters when it's real big, because that way I can get my stitches evenly around it. This one only is 16 stitches, so it's not, and there were 18 rows, so you just need to skip 2 rows, so that's really not bad at all. But some things, you know, if you're doing a hat or something, you have 60, 80 stitches to go around. So I'll mark mine off and make sure that I am working into them well. So I try not to work too under just one loop like this. I don't know, I don't like to do that, so I'll go down a little bit further. And then this goes in this side. Oh, down. So just work 16 stitches evenly around here and do not join with a slip stitch. Here we are at the beginning, and you can see this is where I chained. This is my first stitch right here. And so now we're just going to work regular single crochet, which is under both loops. And go ahead and mark your first stitch, because since we're working continuous rounds and there's no chaining, no joining, we just want to mark that first stitch. So you're going to work round and round for 11 total single crochet rounds. We've already done 1 here, so 10 more just working single crochet. All right, now from this point, you can see it looks, like I said, a little strange, but we are going to push that cuff down. We're ready to work the heel, so we're going to start turning it so that we can get the foot going this way. So for this part, you will not need your little stitch marker, so just set it aside for now. And you're going to work 8 stitches. All right, there's 7 and 8. And now we're working back and forth. So turn, chain 1, and single crochet 8. So you just work back and forth on 8 stitches for 6 total rows. Here are my 6 rows. You can see that. Now we're ready to connect it all so we can turn the foot. So we're still going to work across these 8 stitches again. So chain 1 and single crochet 8. All right, here's my last one. And we're going to work along the side right here. We only need 4 stitches. So you can see this one's already here. So I'm just going to, and I don't work like a corner or anything. I don't want it to be a true corner. So just get that next one. All right, actually, I mean, if you get here, like I have 2 spaces I could put it in. Put it here, because this next one, you're going to look for the last stitch you worked in continuous rounds that you worked into for the back and forth. So see how this stitch already has a stitch in it? Well, in knitting, you pick up a stitch at this point to avoid a hole. So what I did in the crochet version was I went ahead and worked in that exact same stitch. So it already had a stitch in it right there, but now I've worked another stitch into it. And then there were 8 stitches across the front, so we'll single crochet those. Okay, these were our 8 free stitches that were hanging out in the front here. And again, we're looking for this one that has a stitch in it, and we're going to stitch here. And we're going to work 4 stitches up the side. Okay, and that's going to be our new round where we work across and down. It's kind of a little weird at first, but we're going to decrease and we're going to shape this heel part. So to do that, we're going to be decreasing on the next few rounds. So let's go ahead and work. You'll single crochet 11. I'm going to go ahead and mark this stitch right here. It's at the corner, so I'll probably know it's the first one, but just in case, I like to mark when I'm working in continuous rounds. So you single crochet 11. Okay, 8 gets us back to the corner. And we start working on the side. 9, 10, 11. Now you single crochet 2 together here. I like to use the invisible single crochet decrease. So you can either do where you pull up a loop, and like this, and that's fine. That will not be a problem if you do that. What I do on a project that I don't really want to see my decrease really well is I do the invisible decrease. So what you do is you pull just the front loop of the first stitch, front loop of the second stitch, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, draw through 2. It just reduces some of that bulk right there. And then single crochet 11, and your decrease will always be right next to your stitch marker. So your decrease will be right here. The next round you single crochet 10, decrease, single crochet 10, decrease, and then 9, 8, 7. So what happens is each time we're doing the same round, and you're just, the number of stitches that you do between decreases is smaller by 1. So we're doing 11 and then decreasing, and then we 11, decrease. Then we start the next round, 10, decrease, 10, 9, 8, 7. So once you get back, you'll get back to 16 stitches. So just work that number of stitches and then do this little decrease, and we'll have 16 stitches again. All right, when you've done your decreasing for your heel, this is what it should look like. Okay, it's just turned this part, and now we're back to 16 stitches, which is what we had for our leg. And so for the next 5 rounds, just go ahead and single crochet in each stitch, 5 rounds working down towards the toe. Okay, I've worked my 5 rounds, and now I'm ready to shape the toe. So to do this, we're going to use that same decrease. We're going to single crochet 2. Go ahead and put your stitch marker back in if you're worried about losing your spot. And now work the decrease, either regular single crochet 2 together or this invisible decrease, and repeat around single crochet 2, single crochet 2 together. Now for our last round, I'm going to leave my stitch marker off since this is the end. You just single crochet 1. Oh, my hook just jumped out there. It's real life, right? It's what happens to you when you're crocheting sometimes. And then single crochet 2 together. And repeat that around. You'll have 8 stitches. And then we're going to close the toe. So single crochet 1 and then single crochet 2 together. Okay, I've done my last round, and I have my little 8 stitches here. Go ahead, I cut the yarn already, so I'm just gonna pull it through. And you can use a yarn needle for this, but honestly, I just use my hook. I'm gonna pull it this way through this stitch. Go into the next stitch. So there's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Keep having to turn it to get it to where you can see it. 7. 8. And I usually do one more. I go back into the first one. So just go back in. All right, and we have it there. We're gonna pull it tight. And it's gonna close our toe. So you can see that here. It's kind of funny, it looks like it's flat right now. Flatten it out, and you can see how it did our toe. Let's look at this side, where's the strings and the yarn's on the way. But here is your finished stocking. Obviously you would weave in your ends. That's the next part. Don't want those hanging out. And then you turn down your cuff. And that is your finished stocking. Super easy, all single crochet. Come visit us at love.life.yarn.com for more than 300 free patterns like this one.